What's up, guys? It's Lee Lucas here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make R&B beats for Brent Faiyaz, Black, Bryson Tiller, anybody with that old school, vintage kind of vibe. Let's get into it. So we have these chords here that I've kind of, curated, I guess. And they look like this and they sound like this. Very, tense, like chill, tense chords. They have like an ambient feel, but they also have a nice smooth transitioning kind of feel to it. The preset for that is from Pigments. It is the Delusion Synth Pad, and what we did for the effects were pretty basic here. We added Fruity Panamatic to have it just panning left and right very smoothly and slowly, and then we added an EQ here. Next up, we have the Synth Keys, also by Pigments, Arturia Pigments, and we're using the roller preset. But this time what we did is we added some more, almost like a strumming effect, as well as we added the notes up an octave. So essentially, if you look at the last clip, it was like closer together to add more tension, so we lifted it up to add more color and just put it into a different octave so that it would sound a little bit different. And these sound like this. So very nice and smooth. For the effects, we did not do much. We just EQ'd it to make it, very downgraded, almost vintage feeling. Then we went on to the bass line. The bass line is my favorite part. I'm pretty sure we're using the Rickenbacker bass, 100%. Probably the palm muted preset because it's one of my favorites. But anyways, this is what the bass line sounds like. How we get that effect is I basically just played it on my MIDI like I would like a piano melody, and I'm trying to stick with the root note of the chords for the most part. We move on to a lead melody, and for this we're using something different. We're using the UAD Polymax synth. I don't usually use this. I thought I'd give it a try for this beat, and it turned out quite nice. This is what it sounds like. It's got a nice distorted but like very airy and cloudy feel to it. But what we did for that is we added some Valhalla Supermassive, pretty thick delay time, mix knobs about 44%, and then we EQ'd it just to clean up the frequencies a little bit. And then we have one last melody here, and then we'll get into the drums. So for this, we're using the Analog Labs preset 1982. I really like this preset. It's very, very nice. And this is what it sounds like. So it blends really nicely with the rest of like the chords and everything, just to bring the overall melody together. What I did was I added some Valhalla Vintage Verb, the 1980s color mode, Sanctuary mode, and then we turned the decay to about 9 seconds, pre-delay to 23, and then the mix knob to 64, and then we didn't do too much here, and then we EQ'd it just to clean up the frequencies once again. And then that is it for the melody elements, the melodic elements I should say. The kick, we're using the Kick Dragonfruit kick by Eves Robbie drum kit volume 2. Very, very good drum kit for any like R&B sound, like almost like a Timbaland sound, vintage R&B, 2000s R&B, 90s R&B. They also have some trap elements in there too. I highly recommend this, but we didn't do much with this. Honestly, we just have this pattern going like this and repeating. For the snare, we have the Bitin' snare by the same kit, by the same guy, YVS Robbie, except for I think that we just turned it down a bit and we EQ'd it. Put some reverb on it and then we EQ'd it a bit just to get some of the harsher frequencies out. And always put your kicks and bass in mono. Remember that, guys, and make sure you level it appropriately. You don't want your bass too high. You kind of just want it a little bit under your kick. And then we added a rim shot just to, you know, give that little accent, and the pattern goes like this. We have the main hi-hat, or the first hi-hat. I like to add multiple instances of hi-hats and multiple versions of hi-hats in these beats just to get the kind of like 90s, 2000s bounce going. So the first hi-hat is like this, and what I did was I added a time shift on it, and all it does is basically move it, delays it a little bit. I put the out knob, I turned it a little bit to 68%, and then I have patcher, auto panner, just panning it left and right. I have 30 delay 3, these are the settings here, and I have some EQ, just because 3600 generally is a pretty harsh frequency, and I was hearing it a lot in this. So this is what that sounds like. So if you can hear, it's just bouncing back and forth. Now the second hi-hat it's got a little bit of a different time shift, so it's 0.5 time shift. The out knob is still at 68%, and all this has is a bigger auto pan, so it's panning a lot more frequently, and that one sounds like this. And this one I've adjusted the velocities a little bit, as well, as you can see down here. And now we have the open hat, which is pretty simple. It's pretty basic, pretty simple. Honestly, that is it. That's all the components of this beat. Now it's basically just about arranging it and adding transitions, ear candy. That's pretty much it. What I did for this is I did make a transition for this beat, and that sounds like this. As you can see, it kind of like fades in almost, and I like doing that with a lot of my R&B beats, or just beats in general, making my own transitions like that. What you can do, there's a bunch of different ways to do it, but essentially I'll essentially just take a section, I'll hit Control-Alt-C on my keyboard, and then I will bounce it, reverse it, and then automate it like this, like that. Both clips, or both whatever parts that I'm trying to have be in the transition. And then what you do is you hit it to resample, drag it out a little bit, have it in the step mode, and then you can drag it out just so it fades into the next clip, and then make sure that you fade it out before, the next clip hits or the next sound hits, because you don't want it to clash too much. And then once you're done that, bounce it, and then you have your transitions right here. And it just gives like a really nice transition effect. But yeah, that is basically it for this beat. The rest is just arrangement, a little bit of chopping, and the way we structured it was hook first. So hook or chorus, whatever you want to say. And then we have the verse one, or whatever you want to do to the same verses you can. Hook, verse 2, hook, and then outro. Honestly, I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you can get some kind of information out of here that will help you with your beat making journey. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And if you're looking to purchase this beat, take a look down in the description, as there'll be a link to my BeatStars and all my socials down below. Thanks a lot, guys. Roll the beat.